How you going, people? Well, this video, I'm getting a lot of comments saying I got it wrong and that they're excusing the cop's behavior. So I want to do a little follow-up on it. So the video I'm referring to is cop shoots armed suspect hiding in the back of a pickup truck, and he mag dumps him. And I put it under my Earning the Hate Police Misconduct playlist. So people are excusing this cop's behavior for the usual suspect reasons. So in the video, the cop is behind a wall, he's got cover, he's got distance, and the suspect is lit up. Now, the reason that people are saying it's okay that he mag dumped on this dude, some of them, one was this guy was an aggravated rapist, and if it was my daughter, I'm glad he shot him. People, you can't give government a pass on poor procedure just because you don't like who they acted out against. That's the same theory as they're loading the Jews on the train as long as they're not loading me. They're making blacks sit on the back of the bus as long as they're not messing with me. They're whatever you want to choose, if you allow the populace to agree with government abuse and tyranny because you don't like the person that they're being abusive to, sooner or later, they will be abusive to you, your daughter, your mother, someone you care about, and then it's too damn late. So, I mean, it really bothers me when people just excuse police behavior. One, because they want to love the police and they think somehow being a good citizen, you must support bad police actions, and bad government. Otherwise, you're not a good citizen and you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're Antifa, or you're a Trump hater. I mean, whatever the reason you want to come up with, somehow there's this blind support. And I used to be there. Hey, man, you got to support cops, man. We're out here doing a tough job. It's tough. Well, we're out here fighting. We could get killed. You need to support police. Most of us are good. There's some bad, but, I get it. But when the majority of government contact is tyranny, and they're either taxing you, fining you, putting people in jail, letting criminals go, and harassing good working people, at some point, you need to get your head out of the sand and stop connecting bad government behavior on bad people is okay, or on people I don't like. So if this guy was an illegal in crossing the border and a cop shot him, somebody that hates illegals would be like, I don't really care. He's illegal. He's breaking the law. He wasn't supposed to be in here. I'm okay if they shoot him. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. This cop did a mag dump when he didn't need to. He had cover. He had distance. He was on the radio. He had multiple officers in the area because they were chasing this dude. Now, the other reason they're saying is, hey, the guy had a gun and he said no. Even Sheepdog, who I usually agree with, said, hey, if a guy has a gun and I ask him to drop it and he says no, then the shooting's good. I can't believe he said that, because the first thing that comes to my mind is, so if a guy is suicidal and he's holding a gun to his head and you tell him to drop it, you think it's okay to fill him full of lead. Even though he's only a threat to himself, you're going to kill him to protect him from shooting himself in the head. Again, there's no absolute. So when people say, well, if he has a gun, you tell him to drop it, then you can shoot him. So if this guy was a concealed permit carrier and he had a gun and a cop comes around a corner and goes, drop your gun, and the guy goes, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't drop my gun. I didn't do anything. What are you talking? In Sheepdog's world, he had a gun and he was told to drop it, and you can fill him full of holes. Come on, Sheepdog. I know you don't believe that shit. So, look, you must judge government on the rules and hold them accountable, and not on emotion that I'm okay with what they did because I didn't like the person they did it to. Now, look, personally, if the cops go out there and arrest everybody in Antifa and beat the hell out of them, I don't really care. I'm not a fan of Antifa. If they go out and shoot looters and people who are burning and people who are peaceful protesting, like BLM, and they go out there and shoot them, some people will be okay, some people may not. I personally don't care if you're looting. I don't care who you belong to. I'm okay with the cops shooting you. I think looting should be a shooting offense. And some people may think that's aggressive. And some people will say, well, if you think looting's okay, why don't you think it's okay to shoot a guy rapist? Well, first of all, he's not involved in a rapist. Suppose this was a guy, which has happened to me. We were looking for a parolee. We surround the house. I call in cops. We have all these cops, and a naked guy jumps out of another house and takes off running. And everybody goes, that must be the parolee, and they jump on his neck. When in actuality, he was a different guy, wanted for something else, and he thought we were there for him. So in the theory of just shooting people because you think it's them, suppose this guy was an illegal and he saw the cops and he just decided to run in the truck. Suppose the gun he was carrying was his kid's gun and it was fake. Rick, it doesn't matter. You're making excuses. He had a gun and he should have dropped it. And he told a cop no, and it's okay if the cops fill him full of lead 14 times instead of using less than lethal force. Instead of waiting at a point of safety back here behind a wall with his gun around and waiting for the guy to force the shooting, like raise the gun, shoot at him, etc. I'm not saying cops have to wait for a guy to shoot. But to fill this guy with that many holes by saying drop the gun and then just mag dump on him, I mean, I've seen other shootings where cops shot one round and a guy fell. Remember the guy that set the house on fire? He was crazy. Cops come in here. He's throwing things that are on fire on him. He's got a knife. He's charging him. The cop fires one round. The guy falls. I'm okay with that. If this cop had fired one round, I would be much better with this. My point is cops now get to spray pray and do mag dumps, which means they're being executioner on the scene without due process to the suspect with any trial, any oversight, no defense. He doesn't get to go to trial. He doesn't get to tell his side of the story. All we're doing is shooting this guy because a woman made a complaint that he tried to rape her. And now we kill him, and I've got all these people saying, well, if you rape my daughter, it'd be okay, so I'm okay with the cops killing him. Man, sometimes I think I have really educated audience that can think, and then I get all these comments and all these people that just throw logic out the window and go, hey, as long as he's killing somebody that I don't like, I don't care who government kills. Let him kill everybody I don't like. And look, I wouldn't cry a tear if some cop went into Congress and started taking out a bunch of Congress people. I wouldn't cry a tear on that. Not that I would ever encourage violence when somebody do that, but I'm just saying, I have no love for the people in Congress. So in this theory, if cops went into Congress and did mag dumps, everyone would be like, well, that's okay. But it's not okay. Government has a lot of power and they need to be held accountable. And they need to follow rules. And they need to follow the rule of law. And they need to not shoot everybody 14 times just because they can or just because they've got limited immunity. That's my side of the story. You can believe what you want. All right, we'll end that there.